It is an absolute joy, Beverly, to work alongside you in Caring Ministries.
You too.
The other day you popped into my office and you were mentioning an article. I think it was a New York Times article. Can you remind me about that?
The title of it is There's a Name for the Blah You're Feeling. It's called Languishing. And it's written by an organizational psychologist named Adam Grant. And he brought this forward in this article, and a lot of us on staff and just in general have really identified with it. It's created a lot of buzz.
I can imagine. That term, languishing, I'm not exactly sure what it means, but I know that when my plants are thirsty, they kind of droop, and they're languishing, right?
And people droop too, right?
Yes.
So languishing, he describes as a sense of stagnation and emptiness. It's as if you're muddling through your days or looking through a foggy windshield. It's that feeling.
I've felt that in 2021 especially.
And psychologists, he describes, look at mental health on a spectrum. So you've got flourishing on one side. Which
We all want to flourish.
Yes, we do. So it's like the peak of well-being.
Okay.
And then you've got depression, which is like the valley of ill-being. And then in between, he calls it the neglected middle child of mental health, is this concept or this void of languishing, which is, he describes as the absence of well-being.
Wow.
So you've got this languishing in the middle, which can kind of dull your motivation to do things. It affects your ability to focus. It can even, make you not want to work.
I could see that. No wonder that it's creating a lot of buzz. I think we might even wonder if this is our new normal going forward.
Well, it's certainly kind of where we find ourselves right now because, 2021 has continued to be a hard year. But he does introduce this antidote.
Okay, some
to
advice.
languishing, a little advice.
I'll take some advice.
Yeah, me too. Called flow, which is a way to be intentional about identifying projects or things that you can get engaged in that allow you to start intentionally moving towards flourishing. It's those things that you find that you kind of lose track of time. You get so wrapped up in. And we're not just talking about a Netflix binge. So that may be something, that you do for yourself, but it's more like now that we're going into the holidays, it could be a holiday project or reconnecting with people you may have lost touch with over the last few months. So
sometimes I lose track of time when I'm in a really good conversation.
Yes.
Or when I'm trying to hang some holiday lights.
There could be any number of things. And this concept of languishing has really captured a lot of people's attention. So there are other articles and things that can give you other ideas for how to move towards flourishing.
Wow, and it sounds like community is a really important part of this. Just walking through some of these things together. Brothers and sisters in Christ. That's one thing we're going to do at Blue Christmas on December the 8th. We certainly want to invite anyone who's watching to join us that evening as we give attention to being together, but also together in the presence of God. It reminds me of that verse actually in 1 Peter chapter 5 that says that we've suffered a while. But that verse says after we've suffered a little while, the God of all grace will come, and it promises several things there: to restore us, strengthen us, establish us, and restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish us. That's the promise of God, that even as we are active in this flow, moving towards flourishing, we can also count on the promise of God.
We can count on the promise of God, and we can remind one another of it, because languishing is a shared thing, but we as Christian sisters and brothers can support one another as we move out of it.
We would love for you to join us at Blue Christmas on December the 8th. We'll be right here in the sanctuary lobby at MDPC, and we will be together as community, leaning on the promises of God to bring us comfort.